Next up for their report card are the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars last season, they went into the year with high expectations, as well as they should have. They had the defense, they had the running game. All they needed was their quarterback to actually perform the right way and not really make too many mistakes. That pretty much wore a quarterback ready team, if you think about it, the way they were constructed. A couple of injuries start to plague them a lot more. I think they lost Cam Robinson at one point throughout the year. That really killed them. Blake Bortles couldn't just get right enough for them to actually win some ball games. They had a lot of Leonard Fournette issues with injuries, and then he got suspended for a game. That was a lot of turmoil there. I think also on the outside, they didn't really find their true weapons on the outside, and that kind of hurt them and set them back just a little bit as well. So offensively, they had a lot of issues as far as injuries and things like that. Defensively, I think they just start to get demoralized defensively, and I would too. When you're out there giving 110% and your offense is just consistently doing nothing, it's probably got them really down and got them really demoralized. And I can understand that from that side of the ball. They went out and they tried to do, as much as they possibly can every week, but it just wasn't enough for them to win ball games. When you're a quarterback ready team, you need your quarterback to be not perfect, but just don't mess up as much as Blake Bortles did last year. And that really set Jacksonville back. But if they can go into this next season with the right mindset and the right attitude, I think they're going to be a dangerous team. So, in my opinion, the best pick that the Jacksonville Jaguars made, and the pick that I like the most, was Jawan Taylor. You think about once Cam Robinson comes back off his injury, he's your left tackle. He's solidified. That's perfect. And then you pick Jawan Taylor in at right tackle, and he's solidified. He's perfect. So now you have two good right tackles, or two good tackles, sorry, that can now take away some of those dual pass rushing teams, and you can really feel comfortable putting a guy like Nick Foles out there and say, "Hey, Nick, we're going to protect your left and your right." Also, they got like AJ Cann at guard, and I think he's pretty good. So they got some good offensive linemen in place now, and then also I think Jawan Taylor helps them do what they want to do most, and that's run the ball, protect the quarterback in that facet as well. And if they can protect the quarterback, run the ball perfectly, then this offense becomes the offense that they need with the defense that they have in place. It becomes the offense that, come, late December, early January, around that time. You really don't want to mess with this team because they can put up enough points, but also they can prevent you from putting up enough points. So now, in my opinion, their worst pick was Quincy Williams. Now, let me explain myself before a lot of people take my neck. But when it comes to Quincy Williams, I was doing all my research and I went to their website and I seen that he had moved to linebacker. Now the guy is somewhere around that same stature as Telvin Smith, and I know Telvin Smith said he was taking a leave from football this year. So I feel like that they're going to try to take Quincy Williams and say, hey, go do what Telvin Smith did. Now, what Telvin Smith did, dude was an athletic beast at the linebacker position. He gave you a good two-way linebacker, and a lot of teams are trying to go find those guys. But in my opinion, after looking at their roster and everything like that, he was a safety. I would have left him at safety. And if you took him solely just to replace Telvin Smith, I felt like there was a lot of guys still on the board that you could have went out and could have went out and grabbed. In my personal opinion, I think Will Harris is still on the board at that point. I would have liked for them to go get Will Harris, just with Ronnie Harrison in the back end of that defense, especially at that safety spot. I feel like they have a void at that safety position, and they need to do something to fill it in. So I'm going to be interested to see what they're going to do as far as their safety position and also what Quincy Williams is going to do. I just didn't really like the pick that much. I feel like they could have went a different direction with it if they were trying to replace Telvin Smith. So another pick I like was the running back Rock Armstead from Temple. Now, when you look at him and what he's going to bring to the table for the Jacksonville Jaguars, when I said at the beginning or in the open, when they had the whole issue with Leonard Fournette, he gives you that same type of runner. When I watch him play, it's funny. I feel like he gets better as the game goes along. And he's probably the first running back, or probably one of the few running backs that I've noticed this with. I've always heard people say, like, oh, this guy just gets better as the game goes. He just gets better as the game goes. But I really feel like he gets faster and better as the game goes along. I can see him being that type of running back late in the season, around November, around that Thanksgiving time, somewhere around there. He's going to be that running back that's going to all of a sudden be faster than he was in early September. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do as far as the season goes, because I really feel like he's going to be an actual viable, usable weapon for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he's going to be really dangerous about what he's going to bring to the table. And as the season progressed, I think he's going to be much faster and much stronger. And it's going to be wild because I think it's going to throw a lot of people and a lot of teams off. So my final grade for the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be a B. When it comes down to it, I feel like they could have went a lot of different directions with their picks. They had a tight end in the third round they took. Nah, I don't care for that. They could have waited to the later part of the draft and got a good tight end, or maybe even got one undrafted. I'd rather for them to take a project guy or something like that. I don't feel like you need to spend a third round pick on a tight end. But Jacksonville Jaguars were one of those few teams that had some luxury picks in there. They could take a luxury pick and say, okay, we have the ability to take this guy. We have the ability to do this with this guy. But I just felt like at least the first couple of picks needed to be very impactful players. I love the Josh Allen pick to replace Dante Fowler. Maybe he's a more high productive Dante Fowler. So the Josh Allen pick made sense. The Jawan Taylor pick was perfect. And then I think the Rock Armstead pick was just exactly what they were needing to actually replace TJ Yeldon while still trying to bring in a guy that can be dominant in the run game and probably push Leonard Fournette for a starting position, in my personal opinion. So that's all I have for you Jags fans today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section what you think about my grade. Did I grade him too high? Did I grade him too low? Maybe you have another guy in your mind that you actually like a little bit better. I don't know. Just let me know in the comment section. I'm always here to debate, and I want to know more from you guys. Also, if you're not a footballologist yet, become a footballologist today and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay safe, football fans.